Let's go ahead and talk about LL Cool J's The Force album. Now, I don't know. I forgot what The Force actually stands for because it's supposed to be an
It's an
acronym.
acronym for something. I don't know.
Yeah, but LL Cool J,
Something about
the
frequencies or
first
some shit.
hip hop artist or the first artist in general off of Def Jam, and he's now coming out back out with an album. B, I gotta ask, what did you think about this album?
Man. So what I thought about this album, bro, it's a little I'm a little half and half, man. Like I wanted to like this more, but be honest, I didn't be. And the sad thing to say, it wasn't really LL much. It was more the production. And I'm a huge Q-Tip fan, but I don't know, some of these beats, bro, didn't do it for me. I just feel like I think LL probably should have never did. He not never, but he shouldn't have did a single produced album. I think he need to dabble into something else. I think he probably should have had multiple producers on this one, because I feel like I don't know if some of the production, not saying I ain't like none of the beats, but some of the beats from some of the, it just didn't mesh well to me. It just didn't click. And like nothing wrong with LL's rapping, it's just some of these beats I just did not like. Like the Black Suit Code,
Black Sweet Code.
yeah, Black Sweet Code. Like I love like the first half rapping, but I don't like the West African inspired singer, the lady at the end. I did not like that. And it was some beats. Hold up, bro. I had to do my notes because there was just some stuff I had in my mind. I'm just like, oh man, the proclivities, of course, I did not like that. Sweetie did not like you on that, but I know LL got to he got to give you the ladies track, the little sexy track, him talking about smashing. You know what I'm saying? And like to me, postmodern, right? Postmodern. If you remember this track, this is the track that actually summed up how I felt about the album. It felt postmodern, like it tried to bring in the old, which is L and Q-Tip, and tried to make some new elements with some of this production that Q-Tip tried to add, especially when it comes to, it kind of reminded me of that last Tribe Called Quest project, kinda.
I didn't listen to that one.
Yeah, it's good. But some of the production, he's in a different lane right now. And some of the stuff he used, some of these samples, I'm like, it just didn't do it for me, bro. And I'm like, I don't know if you felt the same way, but I'm just like,
I'm letting you cook right now.
yeah, it's just some of these beats didn't mesh well. Like this wasn't the album I thought I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get to be honest, like something more soulful with Q-Tip. I thought I was gonna get in that bag with some of his soul samples, the jazzy bag. But some of this stuff, some of the instruments, like I can't think of that one beat. I think it's on Postmodern. That beat, I did not like that beat, bro. I wish I could just hear some of these beats, and I'm gonna say some of the hooks, like in the later half of the album, just was like very old to me. Like they didn't feel modern. They just feel like I'm like Huey in a chair. I'm like Huey in a chair. And I'm like,
With Busta Rhymes?
yes,
That's one with
man.
Busta Rhymes, right?
Yes, man. And Basquiat energy. Basquiat, it just, man, just some of these, man, these hooks just didn't do it for me. Like I love Passion because he was spitting on there. I love the beat on that. Just let him go. Saturday Night Special, I love that beat. See, that was something like I kind of was thinking Q-Tip was gonna get more in that bag as well. I like that beat. Don't really care for Fat Joe verse. I think he was just useless on the track. I think Rick Ross and LL had those two verses and the Rick Ross verse. I think would have been perfect ending off. The Force, the starter track. No, Sport of Cyrus.
Spirit of Cyrus.
Spirits. I spelled that wrong. Spirits of Cyrus. That didn't feel like the opener. The Force felt like it should have been flipped. The Force felt like an intro track. It felt like it was the original intro because he just started on there just spitting. And this one, the beat, I didn't like the beat selection for the Sport of Cyrus.
Spirit of Cyrus?
The Spirit of Cyrus. Because I put Sport. Mm-hmm. I just didn't. The production just didn't do it for me. It didn't bring in that bang, like, I just wish this track probably would have been gone, and like the Force title track of the album starts this joint off. I thought that would have been perfect. Into Saturday Night, in the Black Coast. I understand the whole black talking about the soul.
Is that the one who's like cooking mama chicken, cooking mashed potatoes
and fried chicken and all that? Because like it's the code that we live by being black. Man, you ain't on code. Like you doing it. I understood the whole concept, and then I know he brought in a West African artist. I think she's from London. I looked her up. Like, I understand the reference of like the blackness from America, slave trade. Most of us come from West Africa, bringing in this West African artist. Mm-hmm. I get it. It's just, that didn't do nothing for me, man. It's just, 30 December, I love that track. It's probably my favorite track on here.
I was waiting for you to get to that.
Yeah, I love 30 Decembers. I love like the subject matter. It also made me think. It's probably like a little negative. I don't know if it had anything to do with this, but it's just like, damn, you say 30 Decembers don't seem like a lot, but actually, like, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
But it's like, dang, I've been on the earth for 30 years. I've been through 30 Decembers. And it's just like how things change. So much could change in 30 years, and so little could change as well. Which is kind of about this album feeling like postmodern. Is this whole little theme, and then I don't know, man. I wanted to like this album more, B. Not saying I dislike it. It's just I wanted more out of it, and I'm not trying to
bash it,
or even talk down on some people that love it. Some people say did LL pull out the album of the year, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't agree.
No, I don't agree with that. But I think he sounds inspired. He sounds like he's not done with rapping, and the crazy thing is, most of the problems I have with it is not with LL, it's with the production. And I'm thinking, oh, freaking, I didn't even think about the Nas track. Oh, the M track.
See, I was going to bring that up.
Hold up, I didn't even, we could, if I'm going to say something, you can, but like the Nas track, when Nas started off, I'm like, bro, come on, you better rap. And then he started rapping, I'm like, all right, cool. But that beat didn't do it for me, B. The production, it didn't do it for me. We going to talk more about it, but like also, Murdergram Dose with him and M. Doe. Like, I love the original Murdergram off what's the album? Mama Said Knock You Out. Like, I had no problem. M had a cool little verse. L had, we were rapping. LL said it was a cool little fun fact that all three of them in the Hall of Fame. I was looking at a little interview he did. Him, Q-Tip for to get inducted this year. And like, that's cool. But
Mary
like,
J. Blige, right?
Yeah, with Mary J.
That.
And then they went back and forth on here. Oh man, I don't know, B. I don't want to be. L was rapping.
So B.
M did his triple flow. He had a little cool little board, I guess.
Talking about that mafia thing?
That one. Yeah, that was cool board, but like the Jack the Ripper, talking about, LL, his Jack the Ripper diss tracks. He had one board where I was like, come on, man. It should come to me like a flower, man, way out. Pick the tool up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man. You know what I'm saying? It was like, bro. But, bro, overall, man, DeVal. Oh, I didn't get DeVal. DeVal was the ending track when he had like
the posse cut.
Yeah, the younger guys on there.
One from New Orleans.
One from
New York.
Yeah, one guy was
from Jersey. I could be wrong on that one.
One was from Lafayette. He was from Louisiana. But one I know, I think he's actually a producer as well. But yeah, they would sound all right. They didn't sound bad. LL didn't sound bad on it. I just didn't think it was a good closer. It just, excuse me. I just thought this album was gonna be put together because he scrapped the whole album. Well, he didn't scrap it. With Dr. Dre, he was working on. He had a dream that Phife came to him like, yo, I like that album. He was like, that's what he said. So that's what made him link up with Q-Tip. I don't know. But he said he's still putting out the Dre album. So I don't know, man. Maybe he should have listened to Phife in a Dream. No, that's crazy. No, but it's some good stuff in here. And LL, you was rapping, bro. Like, you wasn't no slouch, but yeah, man. B, you got it, bro.
Okay, so I'm known for giving out Dusty Awards on this platform right here. I'm not gonna give it to him yet.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed some of the aspects that I got from this album. First thing I want to commend LL. Like I said, one of the first artists on Def Jam, if not
one
the
of the biggest.
Artist.
One of the first rap superstars too.
Yeah, he's the one that really came up with the hook and the chorus and all that in hip hop. I believe. I could be wrong on that. LL is a iconic legend within hip hop.
Yeah, most definitely.
I want to give him his respects right now. I also want to say this: he was not the problem on this album like that. I honestly thought, because at first, when I first heard LL's coming out with the album, I'm like, because I heard his last one,
we
the one with
Big
the
Ellie or
what?
Yeah,
my baby.
What was that album called?
I forgot.
Exit.
It's the one with the dream on it though. They had a song together on there. But I was like, no, because he be sounding dusty sometimes.
Yeah.
But we talked about some of the tracks that he had. Saturday Night Special, Passion. I'm like, these are phenomenal tracks.
We're rapping.
And I watched some of his interviews with Breakfast Club and Charlamagne. Boy said he had to teach himself how to rap again.
Yes.
And I'm like, I could tell.
Yeah.
You did not come with no dusty flows on this.
Authentic. This one?
Yeah, that one. And I'm going to go through this track list because, like I said, to me, LL was not the problem on this album. I mean, here and there,
Yeah.
yes. But I think it's mostly because of, one, his beat selection.
Yes.
The beats that he chose from Q-Tip. I think Q-Tip was the one lacking on here. And I'm not a big Q-Tip fan.
And
I like some of his production. But to me, this was not it. What I got from Passion, a Saturday Night Special, I'm like, oh, if we get this,
that's
I'm like, that's why I was like, oh, this might be album of the year. It was not. And you know my boy Nas is on here. I was sort of disappointed with that song. But let's go ahead and go through it. Spirit of Cyrus, to me, I feel the same way as you. It didn't feel necessarily like an opener, and I feel like Snoop Dogg wasn't needed on that. Like, I get it, Snoop Dogg is a legend in hip-hop.
Yeah.
One of the older legends that we have in hip-hop. He didn't really add nothing to
He
the
was just on
song.
a hook a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, I could barely hear him, if
Yeah.
anything. Like, I could
Banger.
barely hear him. I do like the way it goes into the Force, the actual song, but
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the Spirit like that. I liked how LL was rapping, though.
Yeah.
But as a song, I'm just like, this isn't it. But LL, most of the times when I like these songs on here, it's because I liked LL's rapping.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't, I just could not have liked any parts of that song, like Proclivities.
Yeah.
Proclivities and Murdergram, those are just the two songs I did not like at
Yeah.
all. Like, when I was going through the album again my last time I listened to it, because I listened to it 3 times, I skipped those two. I'm like, I just can't do it. The other ones I could tolerate, this one I just can't do. We got The Force. I thought it was cool. This Saturday Night Special came in. Even though we heard it as a single, I still love that.
Yeah.
I'm with you right there with Fat Joe. I didn't really care for him on that.
Crack. He said that like twice.
And
Like,
to
get
me,
out of here. It's like
Rick
a-
Ross has that presence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on that,
like
yeah.
to me, I never was a Fat Joe fan, so I'm definitely really not a Fat Joe fan. I'm a Rick Ross fan. So having LL and then Rick Ross comes in right after him, I'm like, okay, I really like this right here. I love the production on that song,
that
B.
song good.
Then
Then
we
I
got
love, I love
Coat.
Q-Tip on the hook.
That was him on the
Yeah,
hook?
that's Q-Tip.
See, I didn't know that.
See, I like that. Man.
And then we get the Black Coat Suite. I love the way that LL was rhyming on that. It's just that beat. And then we got that person that you said there. I'm like, you should have just put Anderson .Paak
Bro,
on that.
and her, bro, wow, I thought of, I like, yo, Anderson sound dope
Well,
on here.
that's what I was
It
like,
was
you
another
like-
song I said Anderson would sound dope on. I can't.
And I'm just like, I get what you're trying to go for. I'm liking it. I'm like, this beat just ain't hitting for me
And
right
then that
now.
ending part with just her. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it was
I'm just
Indian music. I had to look it up. I was like, yo, I ain't trying
Yeah,
to
and
do
I'm
this.
just like, this kind of went on a bit
Bro,
too
you should have
long.
saw my first note before I looked it up. I was like, bro, this is the Indian hum? What is it, bro? That's what I had on my notes, bro. I had to switch it up and find out what really going on.
And then we get the Passion. I'm like, I love the way that LL's just flowing. Passion. Like, we need a new team, like a BDO girl needs some new jeans.
Team,
I'm just
like-
like, what we doing?
And that beat-
And then the music video to me, because I
Yeah,
like the little
with him
preview
rapping.
they had on Twitter. I'm
Yeah.
just like, yes, this is it right here.
And I love that like that
Uh-huh.
and then the beat. Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, that beat
I'm like, okay, what are we doing right here? This was
beat was
hard.
fire,
But then we get the Proclivities, the first miss on the album, like the first like
Completely
miss.
miss, yeah.
Like I'm just like, LL, I get it. You the ladies man. You the first Drake basically. I don't need to hear this ish.
Yeah.
I don't need a whole song about I'm gonna lift her legs up and I'm gonna spread. I'm just like, LL.
And then Sweetie of all people,
Yeah, you freaky frog.
her flow was trash on here.
Yeah, that's why he was like, yeah, Sweetie took her time with this. Are you sure?
Man, she just gave it to you late.
Facts. No.
She didn't know she wanted to do it or not.
Facts. She knew what she had. Look, she did this like it was like homework. She put it in late. Then we get the postmodern. This was I was like, all right, this kind of feels dusty.
Yeah.
I'm like, now we because it sounded old.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a old LL song? I'm like, this don't sound like the modern LL that we're getting recently. I like the way he was still rapping on it, but I'm like, it just don't mix well with me. But I still enjoyed it enough to where I can still listen to it and I can tolerate it. Then we get to 30 Decembers. And the way that he's going, I'm like, all right, 30 Decembers. I'm like,
that
okay.
one was dope.
That was hard. That's one of my favorites on
I
this
think he
album
said that's
right
his
here.
favorite song on there.
Shoot, it should be.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang, like this is a really good song. I'm like, I'm just liking the way how LL is kind of giving you this perspective, like where he's at now versus like how he used to be, or like how he used to be treated back then when he was younger and things like that, and the life that he had to go through.
And then going back and people not knowing who he is type stuff. Like,
Exactly.
I know what? Yeah.
I was like, I love this song right here. Like to me, everything was fitting well right here. Then we got Running Back. I'm gonna be real with you, not memorable to me. I don't remember anything from it like that.
See, I wrote a note and it made me remember the track because he was mostly like kind of braggadocious. Like I said with Russell Simmons when I was 17, never did it with him. He was just pretty much speaking on like all the stuff he did at a younger age type stuff, and being like kind of braggadocious in one of his verses too. I think that second verse. But yeah, that's my note about the braggadocious bars, talking about things he did in his first years in the rap game. Just saying like whatever y'all doing is nothing new to me, but the song was okay. I think I liked it.
Yeah, for me it wasn't memorable, but I liked it on here, so it must not have been bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Then we got Hugh in the chair, and I'm like, I like the rapping, but like you said, it's that hook.
Yeah.
And to me, LL was talking about on the Breakfast Club. It don't matter what you rapping about. You just gotta make the songs. How do songs sound?
Yeah.
Me in my head, I'm like, oh, are you sure you heard these songs?
Yeah.
How they
How
sound?
you think Busta felt on that? I don't think he was really like on the topic. It's like he brought up the one part, but it's just like that's all he had.
I'm you in the chair. So stay
And
there.
then
I'm just like,
man, yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like I didn't need Busta on this song.
I didn't. I just
I'm like, this song could have been cut short. This could have been an interlude or something. I didn't need him on here. Then we got Boss Got Energy. I'm like, cool.
yeah. I did not like that beat.
I was like it exists. And then we got to praise him, and I'm like, you got Nas on here. I started hearing the beat. I got scared.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, LL Cool J comes in that thing. Then Nas comes in. I'm like, all right, we dropped the beat a bit. Then the beat comes in. I'm like, where's the rest of the beat?
Yeah.
I'm like, Nas is flowing. Nas is coming here to do his job. LL has been doing his job this whole album. Where's the production at? I'm like, what we doing with this beat? And I saw someone on Twitter super glazing this song. Song of the year? I'm like, no.
No way. Bro.
I'm a Nas fan.
The three lineup, the Nas, Q-Tip on the hook, and LL sounds amazing.
On paper.
That's what I'm saying. But I was like, this track was not what I expected. Like,
it was very lackluster. I'm just like, because I'm like, Nas, he came in there with that kind of lackadaisical flow. And I'm just like, oh, Nas. I'm like, okay, you sounded a bit like a slouch.
Pick it up.
But then he picked it up.
But it was
the beat did
short-lived.
not. Yeah, the beat didn't pick up with him either. And
It was a
so
short
sad.
verse, and the beat didn't do nothing for me.
Yep. And then we got Murdergram. I just don't like Eminem.
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying this. LL was doing this thing. I get it. He was trying to keep up with Eminem. I don't really care for this song.
Yeah, but...
I didn't like the beat. It felt like a Batman song to me. And I'm just like, I don't...
And that's why they put him on there, because all them chops.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And then we got The Vow, which... I give him props for this, because he said he was trying to put on new artists that people haven't heard of. You know, it kind of lives on the spirit of hip-hop, especially with him ending out of the Posse cut. Nothing bad about this track necessarily, but there's nothing for me to run back to on this track.
It's one of them tracks you skip.
Yeah, it's one of them things where I respect LL for doing it, because he has a platform, he's putting people on. But it's nothing for me to really go back to.
I looked them up, but I was like,
Yeah,
Don Pablo.
None of their verses, but also the production didn't really make me want to. Ooh, let's go.
I had no thoughts.
But yeah, overall, man, I wanted to come in here and I wanted to like really praise this album and like really love it. And while there are more things I like about this album than dislike, to me, most of the heavy lifting was with LL.
Yeah,
I honestly thought from the two songs we got, besides Proclivities, because I felt like that was a complete miss when that single came out, Passion and Saturday Night Special, I'm like, oh, this is how the album's gonna sound? This is gonna be it. That is not how the album sounds. Those are misleading. Still great songs on the album.
Yeah.
But to me, this album felt like it was missing the meat on the bones, man. It felt like we had the bones, we had the structure there. It's just, there wasn't enough bass in there. To me, the instrumentals at times felt but clunky. They felt a bit empty. It's like not enough happening in it. And you know I listen to this in the car. Yeah. Some of these songs bump. Not all of them, though. Yeah. I need Q-Tip to learn what bass is. Yeah. I need you to listen to this in the car and tell me, did you like these beats? Because
just like that, the big builders manufacturing homes, like, not much insulation, foundation not the best,
not solid.
You know, the panels with brick, you know, it's just not.
But you got
fully bricked house.
But you got someone that's gonna take care of the house, which is LL.
And I feel, and I just, bro, you know how this pains me as a Q-Tip fan to like say that his production was the thing that lacked on this album, because LL.
You can only do what you could do on a production.
But then also you could pick the beats you want to pick.
That's why I said at the beginning, I'm like, I gotta get on LL. I gotta get
like I want a part of me of like Q, like, you want that one for real? You know what I'm saying? And it's like LL, so like, what you gonna say?
Yeah, but also you made it.
Yeah, but
he made it.
but you know,
he made it. I was like, "Ooh, let me get that one." No,
he was like, "Yo, this is what I like playing with." Like, what if it's just like, "Yo, I'm just kind of experimenting with," you know what I mean? It's something I really didn't want to touch.
Yeah, look, my kid was in my program.
Yeah.
He just spilled something on my keyboard when this one got made. I was just like, to me, the production. You know me. The first thing when it comes to music, that production got a hit. The production was not hitting on most of this album. I'm just like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm grooving." Like I said, there was a few songs here and there. That 30 Decembers is hard.
It's a good song.
I was really let down by that praise. And when Nas on there, though, I'm like, okay, Nas coming on here. Nas doing his job, but it's that whack production.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dang. And Q-Tip, legendary producer. And I'm not a big Q-Tip fan. This wasn't it for me.
Nah, bro.
I like some of his other stuff that he produced. This one wasn't it for me, man. Now, overall, I do want to still support the album. There are songs that I do want to go back to.
Oh yeah, I got
And
some.
I got some stuff on here where, like I said, a lot of these songs I could tolerate. With some stuff, I'm just like, that ain't it. Like that, like the actual mixture together, it ain't it.
Yeah.
But like I was wanting to say, I still want to praise LL because he came with it on this album.
Yeah.
He didn't sound too dusty. There was like that postmodern song. I'm like, it sounds a bit dusty. But I'm like, all right, we can do this postmodern. I don't know if you're trying to go for that, but it's cool. Either way, I still got some standout tracks on here with Saturday Night Special, Passion, and 30 Decembers. That 30 Decembers was still hidden for me.
That's my 3 too, B. That's my 3.
But because to me, perfect songs, except for the Fat Joe feature. Yeah. It's tolerable, not bad, but I'm like, the presence really wasn't needed. But besides that, overall, this project, I gave it like I think a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. To me, LL did a lot of the heavy lifting on here. Yeah. He is a big dude, so it makes perfect sense why he would do the heavy lifting. Yeah. But overall, LL, I'm proud of you, but your beat selection, I'm not proud of. Q-Tip, it's not the worst beats I've heard.
Nah.
It was disappointing though. Because especially with what you gave us with Saturday Night Special and Passion, that was it. Some of these other beats sound a bit clunky, a bit fluey.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this was a solid enough project to where I'm just like,
I'm looking forward to hear him.
I want to hear him like on more varied production, but also if he could lock in and create another project, I don't know who I would put him with though. Who I would lock him in
Let's
with.
say Tip did those 3 that you like.
Okay.
Let's
Cool
say
with
we
that.
give him some Primo. Because I know he sounds dope on Primo.
Yeah, especially Primo scratching on that
Yeah.
too. I
And
need him
'cause-
to scratch on that.
Give him some Primo. You can match him with Pete.
I need him on some soulful. I want him on some
You
soulful.
can give him some Ninth. I just think some soulful
I haven't heard
stuff.
no New Night stuff, but
With Mussolini. Check out his Mussolini stuff.
okay.
That's one of his. I think Mussolini, like, actually up under him now. Like, cause he can give him some of that, the simplistic, like soulful, like samples. That's what Ninth will give you. I don't know. I just think that it needed to be more soulful to me on this. But
Maybe that's what's missing.
that's what I think. Because I
Because
think
I like that Passion sample.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Passion.
And then it was. It still was like it wasn't like slow or nothing. Like I just feel like it needed more varied in production in the way of like the soulness to it. Because I feel like when he got into these other bags, kind of like electronic or something, like industrial type of.
I was gonna ask you,
atmosphere,
does
like-
Proclivities and Saturday Night Special kind of like not fit on like cohesively on this album to you?
I
Like the
don't
other
think so.
songs, they sound a bit. It's like an unpolished feel.
Yeah.
To me, Saturday Night Special and Proclivities, even though I didn't like Proclivities, they sound way more polished.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe that production. Like it sounds like a lot more clean. You could hear everything properly.
I don't like that beat though.
What, Proclivities? Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I can tell that it's kind of different from everything else though. Like it kind of like those two songs stick out.
Yeah.
Like Passion to me cohesively goes into like how the album sounds. Saturday Night Special doesn't sound like anything else in this album,
Yeah.
and so does Proclivities to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like he maybe it'd have been better if he had varied producers on here, more producers. Because Q-Tip could have gave him that, could have gave him that and that. You know, 3 different sound in the album. I mean songs, and him having some other stuff on top.
Yeah,
I just think.
I needed a little bit of a mix.
Yeah, I think it should have been more.
variation.
I think it's been more variation on this project as well. That's my overall feeling of it was really the production, bro. And I really pains me to say that.
Yeah.
But I'm still looking forward to hear him on the Dr. Dre thing he doing because at least with Dr. Dre, you're gonna get even if you're just dealing with Dr. Dre, you're gonna get varied producers because his team. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on
Dr. Dre. I will say this.
Cool.
With LL Cool J, I know he said that Charlamagne said, "Do you feel like you have anything to prove still?" He's like, "Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of people
New
that don't
people,
know
yeah.
me. They probably only know me from my acting." He was like, "I still got something to prove." And to me, LL showed that he had something to prove, at least lyrically and pen game wise.
Because he still showed that, hey, I had to teach myself how to rap, and I'm rapping better than a lot of you.
He is.
He was going.
And I will say this: LL at times does sound like the old guy trying to be cool, but sometimes it was working for me.
Yeah, he was.
But there was
rapping.
some songs like Postmodern. I'm like, yeah, it's tolerable.
Like
but
on
you,
Saturday Night Special, bro. Like
That
he was
beat.
on his bag, bro. And like 30 Cent was like he was passion, just rapping, bro. I like that.
I like the beat. That ish was good.
But I give it, like you said, maybe 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it's not a bad project. It's just the production is what really disappoints me on this album. LL came with it. Some of the songs could have been and there's only like 2 songs I could do without.
Yeah.
Like that, I just do not want to listen to ever again. But besides that, LL did his thing on this album, and I'm glad he didn't come on this album sounding dusty. Oh, mama wanna knock you out. I'm not saying it's a bad song, but I don't need him coming with that flow in 2024.
Classic.
Yeah, passion.